Now, making it in business requires respect for certain values or practices. Now, these are critical because the external factors like lending, financing, all anchor on those virtues. Today we explore some of these and how we can turn them around to build sustainable businesses. Atanus, it's nice to have you on the show, Money and Markets. Now, we hear everyone is talking about the micro, small and medium enterprises driving this economy. How would you gauge the performance of our SMEs?
Uganda has one of the best entrepreneurial rates in the world. And you know statistics do not lie. We must accept that Ugandans are enterprising by nature. However, while that is true, we must also recognize that also Uganda has one of the highest failure rates of enterprises. So where does that leave us? It means there are certain things within us, internal factors, that we must work on in order for our enterprises to survive. And one of them is the mental preparation. Mental preparation, it has to do with an individual being confident of what they are doing, knowing what they are doing, and focusing on it with a heart of success. But two, there must also be long-term vision, long-term focus, rather than the short-term gratification, which actually kills many of our enterprises. You must always focus on what are your long-term objectives, what is it that you want to achieve. Are you running a business to sell? Are you running a business to own?
Now, you bring out very important issues. Now, where can our entrepreneurs go and pick this knowledge and issues?
You can actually read on the internet. That is the biggest source, because today ICT is one of the best variables. The best ingredient you can put in business. And so the starting point, be IT literate. Look for innovations elsewhere. People are sharing knowledge every day. Internet is one of them. Of course, the other, you can go for role models. And you say role model doesn't need to be the most successful, can also be the most failed person. Okay? I'm sure today, banks are surviving just because Uganda Cooperative Bank and the other banks collapsed. So today, people are looking at the collapsed banks as examples for them to survive. But of course, the other aspect, look at successes. Any business that has succeeded is like a person who has lived longer. Indian companies which are here, look at Mukwano. How long have those companies survived? Kachira, how long has it been there? The nice house of plastics and those other Mukwano industries. And now for them, they have for Mulwana has something very unique, is that he has passed off on his business to another generation, which is a very good thing. And that is a success story you can be able to learn from.
Now, looking at the external aspect of it, because we've talked quite some stuff about the internal aspects, how can we reach out to these people? I'm talking about the small and micro entrepreneurs, because most of the program seems to focus on the big guys.
Well, why many enterprises, especially SMEs, are dying, for the Ugandan case, the issue is simple. It is just leadership. Okay? Many people have confused leadership or leadership will from political will. The two are different. Uganda, we have political will. We do not have leadership will. Because leadership starts by understanding the culture and building a culture in a long-term perspective. For example, you may have a good idea in the start. It is easy to start a restaurant that feeds 5, 10, 20 people. But it is very difficult to sustain a restaurant that serves 100 people and above. You need development financing. You need a structure. You are not going to build a structure from commercial loans. You need development loan to do that. So this is where the issue of leadership should come in. Okay? Create financing that is cheaper for everybody who reaches in a particular bracket, and let businesses survive on their own rather than supporting businesses with political inclinations.
In terms of models or examples, where can Uganda draw these examples globally? Which countries have made it and can offer good lessons for Uganda?
At least Singapore at one time we are at the same level with them, but when leadership had the will to transform its business people, they did it. The other is, of course, India. It has one of the longest surviving family businesses. You can talk about. Examples are many. Talk about Japan, because they have a long-term vision of the enterprises. They do not look at themselves. We need to begin thinking beyond the faces we see that started those businesses to the faces probably in our family trees that will never hear our names. But they will know we had a grandfather or a grandmother who started this. You need to recognize that we cannot start from nothing. We must take baby steps. And one of the best baby steps would have been to partner with those people that come here. Instead of allowing them to do a road alone, let them start by partnering with indigenous people. Through that, of course, we have the jobs which they don't have. But for us, we lack the skills and the resilience to run those businesses, especially when we grow. Actually, our problem here, we are good at starting, but we are very bad at managing success or growth. But if we can learn to manage growth, if we can learn to manage success, then enterprises will survive.